welcome to my channel, Kayla's Crafty Creations. I'd like to share with you something today. This is something I saw on Linda Parker's channel, and I've adapted it for the way I want it to be. It's a stationery set in a little DVD case which opens up, and you've got your little notebook. You've got a pocket to pop your notebook in. I will be putting a holder for my pen in today, but when I did this one I don't really want a pen in it, or this particular pen in it. I've got a different pen that I want to put in it, so I will be doing that later. And a little envelope to pop in anything like receipts, stamps, little notes that you wish to keep. And that is something that I've been asked to do by Sylvia on my other group, Loaded Envelopes Galore UK. So instead of keeping you hanging around, I'm going to start doing this one. I'm going to do it in a slightly different colourway. I'm going to be doing it in a deeper pink using Stampin' Up products. This is, I can't remember the name of the colour, but I will put it in the description box below. But I do know that this is the Fresh Florals DSP. For doing this case, you are going to need a couple of supplies. Obviously, you're going to need your case, which you can buy directly from Stampin' Up from my online store, which I'll link up below. An A5 notebook, a pen, and some magnets. I've got 4 little ones and 2 big ones. I've just attached them to this little mel block to stop them going missing while I'm doing the tutorial. So for the DVD case, there's no actual scoring involved. The base card measures 10 3/4 by 7 1/4 inches. And basically it's quite simple. You open up your DVD case, you pop your cardstock in. It's quite a snug fit, so that's how I like it, and then close it up. Now while you've got it in the closed position, just rub down the edges just so you get the crease line in it, so when you go to put your spine cover on, it's nice and stable creases, so you can see where to pop your bits. So once you've taken that out, as I say, you can see the crease lines. And what we're going to do, we're going to use our fast fuse, which is here, and I'm just going to grab my mat, which I can't see right now. No, we'll just use our paper. I'm taking our fast fuse, remembering keeping it slow, normal to light pressure, and a quick tick to finish it off. Oh, didn't quite work that way, did it? I'm a messy crafter, I'm going to be honest right now. So we're just going to line that up inside those crease lines. Let's go up a little bit. Don't let it stick down because this stuff does stay. I can normally use wet glue, but I want to be quick today, so just using fast fuse for that reason, because it sticks, it holds well, and it goes on there. Now that piece measured 6 3/4 inch by 3/8 inch. This piece measures 6 3/4 inch by 4.5 inches. And I say this is the Fresh Florals DSP by Stampin' Up. I'll pop the link on my blog. Just going to pop this around the edges. With fast fuse you have to have a little ticky motion just to free it off, and sometimes I actually forget. So do that. Oh, and I forgot to put my magnet on. Just put that to one side for a second. Now roughly the halfway mark using a glue dot. You can take one of your big magnets. Mine don't want to come apart right now. I've had the slightly bigger glue dots handy. There they are. So roughly the halfway mark. Just pop your glue dot on the back and stick your magnet down. Then pop down your DSP. Now, if you're using Velcro dots, you won't obviously do that stage. I've used Velcro dots on this before and they hold just as well as the normal ones, so it's up to you how you use it. If you're using Velcro dots, you would pop it in, let's put that in there, on this side of the case rather than on the actual DSP or underneath the DSP. Right, so we're going to pop that to one side for a minute. Now, the next bit we're going to do is our notebook, and we do need to bring forward our scoring board. So, you'll need a piece of card that measures 10 3/4 of an inch by 6.5 inches. Along the long side, you're now going to need to score. Don't need to write there. I'll pop all of the score marks down on my blog for you at 1/2 inch, 3.5 inches, 3 7/8, 8 1/8, 8.5, and 10 1/4. So once all your score lines are in, I'm just going to move my scoreboard off to one side a sec. Using your bone folder, we're going to burnish our score lines. Let me just grab my bone folder out. Oh, there we go. Now, make sure your score lines and your lines meet up at the edges so they're nice and straight, because sometimes your score lines are slightly squiff. Doesn't mean that they've not scored right, it just means the paper's moved or anything. Sometimes it's just the way it folds. So just fold that along like that and burnish those score lines. Try not to over rub them and break the fabric of the card that you're using, because that would be a shame to ruin it before you've even started. You don't want it splitting. Fold and burnish that score line. It's my puppy telling me there's someone on the drive. And that one. It's quite vocal. And across there, and that should leave you with this. Now, taking your notebook, wherever that one, there we go, and you are going to need, I will use wet glue with this because I think it works better. Apply some wet glue to the back of your notebook. you're just going to pop it in and line it up so it sits in the middle. There we go. Now, how I do my magnets is using my fast fuse. I run a line right next to the edge of the crease line and on the flap as well. Then I take my 2 magnets. I've got one very yappy dog. Go and lay down. That's my other dog wandering around as well, being a little bit obstinate. Seems to do that as they get older. Decide that they're not going to do as they're told. Oh, chasing these around the table. Right, and then just fold that over, and I use my bone folder just to make sure that it's secured all the way around the magnet. Oh, there we go. That's nice and secure. Now, I'll take my 2 magnets from this side. One there and one there. Just pop them on there for a sec. Now, just like I did on the other one, I'm just going to run a line of fast fuse down there next to the crease line and also on the flap. Now this time, instead of sealing it up straight off, I'm just going to bring it over, line up my sides and then just push down on top of the magnets so that they hold onto the tape. Fast fuse. I keep saying tape, it's fast fuse, isn't it? So then rub that down and then they're in the perfect position for closing your thing. You do have to be careful not to close it down onto the other side with the fast fuse because it will hold on. So now we've got our little closure going like this and that all looks nice and tidy. We're going to need some DSP. Now, little tip that I've got for you is cut your DSP and sit your DSP up on your paper so that it cuts in order. I'll do that way around. That way the pattern continuity carries on. Now, where are we? It's not that way. Not that way. Oh look, there it is. That's that bit. I'll give you the measurements for this in a second. That's that bit. Right, so you're going to need 2 pieces that measure 6 by 1/4 of an inch. So that's the 2 side pieces. 6 by 3 1/4 inches and 6 by 2 1/2 inches for those pieces. So we're just gonna, let me just do that. Grab the fast fuse. Like that. Starting here. And rub that down, it just rolls off like that. There we go. Rub off the fast fuse that I've left on the side there. Then let's get our next piece, which is that piece there, facing that way. Tick. And that side. Line that up so it is in nice and straight and is level with the bit you've just put on. There we go. Then the bigger bit. Move that way up. There we go, rub that down. The joy of using fast fuse is it's a very strong hold with minimal mess. She says as she gets it all over the paper. That's better. Should have used my mat, but I couldn't see it for a second there, and I wasn't going to stop the tape to get it. Because this is like the third attempt at filming this. So we're just going to keep it nice and simple and just not make too much of a mess of it. There we go. Right, so that's that bit. Let's pop that off. The joy of fast fuse is it does rub off, unlike wet glue, which I tend to get absolutely everywhere. It just rubs off. Now, that's that bit. Pop that to one side. Next, using our scoreboard again, we have the pocket. Now, this piece, the pocket measures 7 by 2 3/4 of an inch. And with this one, on the long side, we score at 7/8. One and a quarter, 5 3/4, and 6 1/8. And then on the short side at 1 3/4. I'm so sorry about my puppy, she's very vocal. Doesn't like being put in the kitchen while I'm filming. She otherwise just tries to jump all over the table. I can't get anything done. So she's having a bit of a moan up. She's been put out there. Now, that's the scoring done. So, for this one, we're going to remove some pieces now. We're going to get rid of this bit, this bit, this bit, and this bit. And then we're going to cut up here and notch it. Notch that bit. Ready to fold it together and get it sorted. So, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cut straight there. Straight there. Then I'm going to get rid of the score line there and there. And snip that bit off. And I'm going to snip that bit away. But I'm also going to snip that bit just slightly. And once again on the other side, we're going to cut nice and straight up that edge of the score line. We're going to remove the score line on both sides. Oh, it's not quite cut, is it? Snip that bit away. And that bit away. Cut across there. And there. Just get rid of these bits of rubbish. And we're going to fold and burnish our score lines. everything straight. A bit harder with these ones, but we'll keep it as straight as possible. That one, and that one, that one, and that one. So now we've got this ready to make our little folds. So what we're going to do, we're going to apply some wet glue. We're going to do it to here. I'm definitely not going to be tidy enough to do it with the fast fuse. There and there. And we're going to fold it so it's straight up that corner, so that corner is nice and straight, right there. Just hold it for a second because it is wet glue. And do the same on the other side. Just make sure you've got a nice 90-degree angle corner, because you don't want tapering corners. I know we've taken a little notch off the edge, but it's easy enough to see your corners. I know there's a little tool that you can get. I don't know if Stampin' Up do it or not, but I know that you can get them to help get nice straight corners. I've never used one, but there are tools for that. Now, using the wet glue again, just going to fold that round, and this time you have got the edge just to fold that round. And take the wet glue again and fold that round. Just hold that, making sure the angles are nice and tidy. Right, now I can only do this by eye, so just want to put a little bit of glue on that bit of the flap and on that bit, just so it holds together and it all folds up nice and tidy like this, just holding it just for a second while it meshes. The DSP for this piece, let's put that down, measures 4.5 by 1.5 inches, and that's going to just pop on the front there like that. So using our fast fuse, need to roll that on a little bit because I obviously didn't tick it right. There we go. There, one more in the middle, and we'll just pop it on to there. Oh, that's not straight. Oh no, that's not going to work well. Just think of that as nice and straight. I should have put it on with wet glue, but there we go, there's that bit there. Now, the next thing we're going to need is our envelope punch boards. Stampin' Up do one, I think, or they used to do one. we need a piece of DSP that measures 5 inches by 5 inches, and using our envelope punch board, we're going to start our envelope at 2 3/8. And spin that round. Now you use the score line that you've just done. To make your score lines. Score and punch. Find the score line. Sorry, my head must keep getting in your way. Punch. Turn it around one final time. Line up against the score line. Can't quite see where the light's on it. There it is, right there. Score one more time, and that meets our final score line there. Now spin it round and pop each of our corners in onto the other side of the punch to give us some nice round corners. The final one, just like that. So let's move that to one side, and then we're just going to fold and burnish our score lines, nice and simply. Made this envelope slightly squarer this time because I'm thinking about maybe putting some other bits inside this box, so just want to do that. Now first envelope we're going to need to create the closure, so just using our fast fuse, this is the first flap. And that's our second flap. So that's slightly smaller, but there are things that I want to do with this as well. So we've now got all these components made. So I'm just going to see how we want to put this one together. Now I know that I want to pop this right here in this corner, ready for that with the notebook. Now my little tip on how I put things together, make sure everything sits in properly and doesn't cause me an issue. For popping this together, I use fast fuse because it's one of the few things that will stick to your DVD box and not come unstuck. Ooh. But using the notebook, I can find exactly where I want to place it and get a good push down, because it's quite difficult to push down otherwise. Just to be certain, give it a bit of a rub with your bone folder. And that's that bit. Now my envelope I'm going to pop quite low, as I say, there's a little personal note that I want to pop inside this one, so I'm going to pop it there, but I'm going to use the back with a bit of fast fuse. Remembering our ticks, unlike I did a minute ago. Pop that down here like that. Now that sits there nicely. Now how do I want my pen to go? Sit in like that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a scrap bit of paper. If you just bear with me, just find it. Let's just pause this for a minute. Alright, sorry about that. I've now found a little bit of scrap DSP. It's about 3/4 of an inch wide. Now what I want to do is just roll it round my pen, just so I've got it rolling round and making a little tube for the pen to slide in and out of. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my snips and trim it down just a little bit. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some wet glue. And where I've rolled it round, I'm going to attach it over, just so it makes a loose tube. Don't make it too tight because you want to be able to get your pen in and out. So you just want to make a loose tube and just hold it for a few seconds while the fibres mesh with the wet glue. See, I've got glue all over the pen as well. I'm pretty good at wet glue. Either I don't have enough or I put way too much on. Just hold that just for a couple of seconds until it just goes there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave that there just to dry a second. Now, as I was saying a minute ago, I want to put a sentiment here. I've decided I want to put something on the front of my book here. So what I've come up with is, because of how I want my tags done, I've got a double layer, and I've got some wood, this card, and I've got a layer of Whisper White as well. So I've got two different shapes, and I'm going to stamp on it in Berry Burst. I think that's the colour that I'm using. And I'm going to stamp the stamp set from, hold on, what stamp set is it? It is Just Add Text, and I'm going to be using Life is Better with Friends on the front of the notebook, and for the sentiment that's going to go in the top of my stationery set, there's the I appreciate everything you do, just to remind people that what they do is appreciated. And I like things like this. So this you can buy, I'll leave the link below. It's a really nice stamp set. It's the clear mount. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take that and my Berry Burst, and I use little stamp spots with the re-inkers for my inks because I don't have a lot of storage space. So I buy the re-inkers and the stamping spots, and I have all the inks in little miniature size, and they just go on forever. Absolutely brilliant. Now I'm going to straighten this up and line this up just so it's in the centre. Pop it down, and I've made a little mark on it, but we'll cover that up in a sec. There's no such thing as a mistake when it comes to crafting, so we'll just get that. Give that a second to dry. I don't want to smudge it. Using my fast fuse. And pop that on like that. Just avoiding rubbing over the ink at the moment because I don't want it to ruin. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add it like this on the front. So I know that it goes up to about there. So let's just add. And then we'll take that there and just line that up nice, steady, just so it's straight. I'll pop that on there like that, so that bit can go there. Now I'll show you what I'm going to do to get rid of that shortly. I'm going to stamp this bit up next, which is the I appreciate everything you do stamp from the set. So I'm just going to ink up my stamp. making sure I've got all of it. And line it up in the middle. Just press that down. Slightly wonky behind me, it's nothing unusual. It's the I appreciate everything you do now. I'm just going to leave that to dry, and I'm going to use my stamping scrub just to clean my stamps up. I love my stamping scrub, can't beat it. A couple of seconds and they're all clean. Just sprayed with a little bit of stamping mist and away you go. Is that dry? Yeah, that's dry now. Using the fast fuse once again. I'm going to pop that right there. Now there are things you can do at this point, other things that you can do. I'm going to just do my pen. Now, finding the crease, I'm going to add my fast fuse down where the crease is. I'm going to get my pen, pop that right next to my notebook like so, so it sits. I can just pop that on. There we go. Everything's there then. I'll come back and do this bit in a minute, but I'm just going to close this over because I've still got bits to do on the case, which I want to get done as quick as possible for your sakes. Now, we put the magnet. Just got to find the other bit of the other magnet. Oh, attached to the charm. So we've got a magnet. Make sure that's there in the middle. Well, I've added the sentiment slightly bulkier than normal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wrap round. It needs to be slightly further over. Wrap around the base of my closure. And using a glue dot once more. Find a tricky tool to use here. I'm like the world's worst person with glue dots. I seem to get them absolutely everywhere. Let's put that on there. And on, oh, that's the wrong side. And it goes like that. So now I need to change that because I got it wrong. Did that back to front. I should have put it on the other bit on the DSP, but hey ho, there's no such thing as a loss when you're doing it this way round. Spin that round like that. Start again, shall we? Put the glue dot there. It's not a very good glue dot now. It's not sticky. Which way round does this want to stick? Stick that way round. Right. So onto that side. and down. There we go. We now have it in the right place. Now we need to make sure we know exactly where our creases are, because it's going to be really important when we come back to it. So we've got this side or this side. I'll go with this side up. We're out of fast fuse. Well, wet glue it is then. I checked before we started whether I'd need some more. Alright, let's just use the wet glue. Using our wet glue, just put the cover on. So it's over the top of the magnet. And down like that. Now, flipping this over, I was going to put it together with fast fuse, but now I'm going to use double-sided tape. So we've got our crease line just there, which you can see. So I'm going to put tape up to that crease line. More fingers and thumbs now. Up to there. Using the pokey tool. Get the tape off. Fold those little bits over. Once again, using our magnet this time to find the place, and then just sticking it down onto the back, like so. I just need to make sure that it stays down. So there are, as I say, there are other bits that you can do for this. I'm going to be adding a charm. Not this particular charm, but it will. So I've got my crocodile now, and what we're going to do, we're just going to take this lot out just for a second. And we're just going to trim off the little bit that's sticking up here. I don't know if you can see it. It comes out just a little bit. Just there. I need to trim that off to be able to get the crocodile to come around that. So I'm just going to see if I can trim it off. Takes a bit of work. Probably use a craft knife better. That's it. That's better. Now, taking your crocodile, and I'm going to use the biggest part of mine. I'm just going to punch a hole in there, and then I'm going to use an eyelet just to give it a little bit more strength. Pop that through, because you want our work to be nice and strong and not falling apart on the recipient. And we're just going to squeeze that nice and tight so it holds ready, and then we can clip our charm onto our case. Pop our pen back in, our notebook. So I've got a little bit of a ink markage on here, so I need to get it so it looks a little bit prettier. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to find some gems. Use those ones. And fine glue. Just put some dots of glue. 1, 2, 3. Using my tweezers. I'll put one there. Spin it around, one there. One there. And I've got a little markage here, so we'll just it's hanging on to the glue at the end of the tweezer. One there. One there. And one there. Covering up the little glue spills. See? As I said, nothing's wasted. But that is my little stationery set that I like to make for gifts for friends, including charm. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. As I said, all the sizes, score marks and everything will be on my blog, as will the link to my shop. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a little like and subscribe to my channel. I'd be greatly appreciative, and if you wish to order anything, I'd love to be the demonstrator that you buy with. And all purchases do get a free gift at the end of each month, or at the beginning of the following month, for being a loyal customer. Okay, many thanks. Bye bye.